What's going on, everybody? It's Rev, and welcome back to another Dauntless video. In today's video, we got new patch notes coming out on the 25th. That is 2 days from the time of this upload. We'll have some spicy new patch goodness all up in our game. This is patch 1.3.1, coming with a lot of behemoth fixes, a lot of wounding fixes, a lot of Umbral escalation related stuff, as well as one shining star of a patch note in this list, and I will talk about it once we get to it. Just let you know that it's about fashion, and that's what's important. Let's get in and talk about Thraxx. Thraxes have increased health, but their limbs are easier to break. This is huge. I think that Thraxx is a great fight. I love it. I love to enjoy it, but it ends too quickly, dude. And so increasing the health but making the parts easier to break is just gonna savor that kill a little bit more, and I'm excited for it. So let's talk about Thraxes are less likely to become stuck outside of the arena. If you have been active on this latest patch, you've probably experienced this bug at least once. It is really annoying, and you have to wait around a lot, and yeah, sometimes you just have to leave. It's pretty whack. So yeah, that's it. I'm glad they fixed it. Fixed a bug that could cause Thraxes to disappear after portal train attack. Again, another just instance of Thrax disappearing, and you have to wait a long time, and it just totally ruins the fight and the experience. Fixed a bug that could cause wounding not to work on Thraxes. Huge, 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 huge. The whole point of this Umbral escalation is to get creative with wounds, and with the bugs going around, it's almost, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the headache. It's not worth the frustration of losing hitboxes. Now, hopefully, everything is fixed. Riftstalker, speaking of wounds and hitboxes, fixed a bug that caused a Riftstalker to lose their hitbox when leaving a portal. Hopefully, this also addresses the wound issue, but this is still something that plagues Umbral escalation and really squanders the experience. I feel like Quill Shot, Thrax, and Riftstalker are like the three big offenders for me, at least. Naezaga's up next. Fixed a bug that could cause Shadow Touch Naezaga to lose their hitbox after using a portal. Fixed a bug that could cause wounding not to work on Shadow Touch Naezagas. Great. Love it. More of it. You know what I'm saying? Quill Shot, next up, let's see it. Fixed a bug that could cause players to get stuck inside a Quill Shot. Classic bug, always getting fixed. Improved the side spinning shooting attack to better sync the animation with the damage. This is my big gripe with this fight. The quills don't accurately deal damage to the player based on the display. I've been hit by quills that are still in mid-transit to hit me, and this goes with another thing, especially as a sword player. You used to parry quills, but you can't really accurately parry them because you can't see invisible hitboxes. So you just have to guess, and it's just not worth it. In like like say you were doing a trial scenario, it's just not worth it. You don't take that risk because you don't want to get hit. You're rocking Predator or something. Anyway, fixed an issue where broken quills wouldn't change to the broken texture. That's good. Good visual feedback is always good. Charog lava balls will now explode if they fall off of a cliff instead of becoming stuck. Fall off of a cliff. I wonder if that means that when they touch a wall, they just explode. If so, that's a pretty good change. I don't hate it. I'm not sure how to feel about that. But if they it seems like if they come on, like I'm thinking of like some of those desert maps that have cliffs, if they roll up to those, they fall off. So that's good. Moving on to Koshai, Shadow Touch Koshai projectiles no longer missing materials on consoles and PCs with low detail settings. The reason why I'm laughing is because there's literally an attack on console that you just can't see. Like Koshai just looks like it's firing nothing, which is very, very strange that it made it into live at all. So this is something that I've never really seen before. I know what power adjustments are, but I've never seen them in a list like this. So that's at least not in recent memory. So this is probably a nerf to a slew of behemoths, and we'll just see how severe it is. As we continue to tune the early to mid game progression, we found that power difficulty curve is leaning a little too heavily into difficulty, so we're adjusting the power and threat levels of a host of regular and dire behemoths. So it doesn't seem like the late game is getting touched at all. It doesn't seem like Escalation or your heroic plus and heroic behemoths are getting touched, but with the early game and mid game starting into the dire patrols. So honestly, I don't really have much of an opinion on this because I haven't played the early game in quite some time. I think when the sword rework comes out and the new Ramsgate stuff, and we'll just take a grand tour of the entire game again, get the full experience, see what the new players are dealing with. And this is something I've probably replayed Dauntless like 8 times by now, maybe even more. And so I'm interested to see the grand scheme. But I'll quickly scroll this, and so it seems like 20, 10, 40. Shrike got a massive nerf. Shrike is like, and I actually kind of agree with this, because Shrike is kind of like that first one where it's just like there's a power jump, and the player unlocks the repeaters or the strikers, and you don't have anything upgraded. You get kind of like soft locked at that point, and I feel like that's one of the points. That particular quest is probably when the player to behemoth ratio, the player is at its weakest. And so I actually really agree with this. You know, power levels are probably like a vague measurement to a lot of players, but how power and threat works, it's based on your total power score, so your weapon and your armor combined, versus the threat level of the behemoth, which is like a set number behind that threat level. And so this dictates how much damage you're taking. This dictates how much weapon damage you're dealing, and a lot of reasons that people are dying and they're just like, I don't know how I'm dying, is because that discrepancy is very, very vast. And so lowering these makes it so players across the board are just taking less damage and dealing more damage. But I'm seeing, except for Shrike, I'm seeing like 20 and 30 points, which isn't massive, but it's also a fair amount. It really just depends on the player and where they are with their gear progression. So let's see, weapons are up next. Interesting on the, I'm just gonna scroll up. It's just very interesting to see all the power stuff listed that way. Let's get into the weapons. Fix a bug where using Grim Onslaught or Relentless Onslaught on a behemoth at point blank range with other targets nearby could result in being the behemoth being damaged multiple times. This is interesting. I hope it doesn't squander the interaction of, you know, throwing your axe long distance and then it coming back and having a hitbox when it's hitting the ground, because you can choose to not catch the axe and it has a hitbox and it will interrupt behemoths. If you watch my past axe video, I do this to Shrike and Riftstalker. I throw the axe at Shrike, and then, you know, Riftstalker comes out of a portal and the axe lands on Riftstalker and I get the interrupt. It's a very stylish, very cool interaction that feels so good on the axe. It's just one of the many things the axes can do that add to the pizzazz and the wow factor of the weapon. I hope that is not squandered, because axe has always been like the rock star. And so it's good that this multiple damage bug is fixed, but I have a mild concern that rebound interaction might get a little bit torched, which kind of sucks, but we'll see. Hammers with no ammo can now use the Torgadoro legendary ability Heavy Attack. It's a good bug fix, but Torgadoro weapon legendary ability it looks cool, but it's not like really optimal damage. But it's fun, so it's a good fix. Fix a bug that could cause equip repeaters to not display until you hit the equip twice or change another item. That sounds super annoying. I don't play repeaters too often, but if I was a repeater main, I'd be throwing a fit, dude. So this is probably a really good change for you guys. That's dope. Aether Strikers, Sovereign Scepters, Koshai Strikers. Buff visual effects no longer show beneath the player. Visual bug fix, great. It's not super impactful in the gameplay. Fixed a bug that caused Thraxx weapon legendary abilities to auto-target dead behemoths. This is big for me. One of my big complaints, well, I won't say it's a big complaint, but it is a complaint regardless. You know what I'm saying? I really like the Thraxx weapons. I will rock those in Umbral Escalation all day. I don't care if they're suboptimal. I love that legendary ability. It is such a playmaker. I absolutely adore it. It's the best legendary ability, hands down, in my opinion. But my big gripe with it is I'm not 100% sure how the camera works, but I think it always faces the direction that your player is facing when it really needs to face the direction that your camera is facing. Because when I'm predicting an interrupt, I'm looking at where the behemoth is going. I'm not looking at the behemoth. You know what I'm saying? So this auto-target dead behemoths is obviously a nice step in that direction, because why would I do that other than to just kind of like meme and like, oh, it's dead, haha. But I'm premeditating the interrupt, and so I want to be facing where the camera's facing Phoenix Labs. That would be lovely. Now, let's move on, and I see this out of my peripheral. This is the shining star of this patch. Cosmetics. Cosmetics chat and YouTube. Cosmetics. Read this with me. Based on player feedback, the Umbral Knight Ultra Armor has new dye regions. This is what I was talking about during my Hunt Pass video. The big negative thing about this Hunt Pass is that the purple skin is not dyeable. Now it is. Now it is. So hopefully this will generate a little bit more interest in this Hunt Pass. I'll tell you what, I haven't seen one person running around with purple skin. You know what I'm saying? I just said, you know what I'm seeing. Moving on. I'm happy. New dye regions. I'm happy that they listened to us. This was a general concern that a lot of partners had when we were testing the Hunt Pass and the Umbral Escalation in general. So it feels nice to just be heard, because this was a huge thing. Looking at social features, we have sending a message to party and guild chat no longer leaves the chat window focused and open. One of these bugs in the chat, and I'm sending a whisper no longer resets chat to the city chat. Following commands. Okay, whisper, guild, and party. /p/g/t. So we have hotkeys, or yeah, we'll just say hotkeys. Commands to quickly type, but so when you hit enter, I think the focus thing is when you hit enter and send a message, it still stays like the chat box is still open. That was so annoying. It made me not want to type at all. So I hope that bug is this first one, sending a message to party or guild chat no longer leaves the chat window focused and open. It sounds like it. So next up, we have UI. Holding down the crafting button now continuously performs upgrades. Great change. Love it. I'm glad it's back. You can now rebind the default key for opening the journal. Great. I had the Hunt Pass or the bounty and journal binded because it's changed before, and I changed it back to J, and then both of my hotkeys were the same. I would open both. So I would open the journal, and then I'd close the journal, and it would automatically be on the bounty screen behind it. So I had like, every time I hit J, it would open two menus. And so, yeah, it was just annoying. but I thought that's how they had it, and then it was, yeah. Anyway, the journal now shows right stick scrolling indicators. Great. Improved visibility of breadcrumbing on consoles. Also great. Improved smoothness of opening the journal. Dope. Moved quest and bounty option up in the main menu. That's good. I think that's kind of like one of those things that happened as a byproduct of having multiple buttons bound to J. Improve the clarity of items selected for purchase on PC. Purchasing the Oculus Umbra Booster Bundle will Oculus Umbra Booster Bundle, dude, will now cause the Escalation Boost UI indicator to appear immediately instead of after the next hunt. Dope. Reduced input lag on Nintendo Switch. Let's go, Switch players. Fix a couple of rare crashes. Okay. Moving on to bug fixes. Hopefully there's some good stuff in here. We have gameplay. Fix a bug that could cause players to be stuck at the start of the hunt in a way that also broke weapon abilities, lantern abilities, and lowered defensive stats. Ooh. Sounds like a feature to me. It fixed a bug that allowed players to escape the Trials arena using the Thraxx legendary ability. If you're a Trials player, you probably know about this. Fix a bug that could lower the damage of certain Thraxx, Torgadoro, Malkarian, and Styxian attacks. Elemental Summoner Blaze Orbs now correctly does full damage. It can no longer interrupt. Man, Zanny had one of the dopest clips I had seen in a long time, and let's just say in the Umbral Escalation thing. Koshai's coming out of the ground, and there's just a fire orb that just blows up in its face, and he's just like, wait. And it was just so funny to watch because no one knew that those orbs could interrupt. But I mean, apparently it's a bug, but it was so funny to watch a Koshai just be like, tasty gumball, and then it explodes in its face, and it gets interrupted. Excuse me. Moving on to Escalation, we have fixed missing Umbral form and Radiant form. I wonder what that is. Phoenix Labs. Visual effects and Umbral Escalation. So there were missing form visual effects. Fixed a bug that caused banners to appear below the Umbral Escalation islands. Banners are a meme. Each player entering the gate for the 4th arena of Umbral Escalation now needs to interact with the crystal to proceed. I did not know that you could leave before not taking that amp, so that's good. It's an issue with splitting Umbral material being difficult to see on low detail mode PC and on consoles. So another modifier fix, which is good, is similar. I assume that this is similar to Koshai's bug with lower performing machines. Fixed a bug that prevented the full throttle amp from appearing in the amp selection. I was wondering what happened to full throttle. Training grounds. Fixed a bug that prevented some players from accessing the training grounds side quest, locking them out of the DPS meter. Nice. I can get my DPS meter now. Big pogs in the chat. Improve the readability of the text when approaching a weapon pedestal in the training grounds. Fix a bug that could cause Aether Striker's surge ability to leave you stuck inside the training dummy. Yo, that's the life I want to be living, chat. That is what I want to be living. Training dummies no longer play with the wrong sound effects on weapon contact. Yo, I hope it makes like squeaky toy noises. UI tutorial Slate improvements. Using the Thraxx legendary ability on a training dummy can no longer get you stuck inside it. Nice. Fix a bug that can prevent you from going back to Ramsgate from training grounds if the game was still installing. Fix a bug where some players would not be shown that they had a quest available in the training grounds until they went there. Okay. That sinking feeling emote was not completely sinking below the ground. Previewing by not equipping the ready fight emote will no longer make certain things in Ramsgate pixelated. This was kind of funny and an interesting bug just because it made so many things pixelated. Fix a bug where previewing a banner plane animation in the vault would not display the banner. Fix a bug that caused eye glow to stay on after it was previewed. Fix a bug that could cause or that could prevent the Skyfighter jacket from having textures. Interesting. Ironclad's helm dye regions are no longer locked. Awesome. More dye options. Improve the clipping on heroic plate and cuirass of the first of the first layer with various armors. Fix a bug that could cause certain helm skins to spawn a second helm that floated above the original. Interesting. You could have two hats. We're playing TF2 now. Getting closer towards the end here, we have the introduction bug fixes. When you receive the recruit lantern, it will now automatically replace the utility lantern. Fix a bug that could cause Cat's armor to Yo, you good, Phoenix Labs? Cause Cat's armor to disappear and the second cinematic to not play after the tutorial hunt. Fix a bug that could cause your lantern to be visible when your character was not. The tutorial slate about interrupts now display correctly if you're using chain blades. Nice. Last but not least, we have our UI fixes. Heroic dyes now use the correct icon at the end of home screen. The power rating shown in the main menu now correctly includes lantern power. Recently crafted upgraded armor no longer displays breadcrumbs, indicating it can still be crafted and upgraded. The bullet timing bounty now shows the correct image. The mastery UI now properly resets after a character reset. Interesting. Have the hunt pass page open when the airship timer runs out will no longer temporarily break the UI. Improved alignment of assorted texts and images throughout the game. All three dyes in the Pathfinder dye set now display correctly on the character in the store. Fix a bug that caused the character preview to be visible in the main menu when it shouldn't have been. Fixed a bug that caused the hold Q to interact for social interactions to not be rebindable. That's a good change. Hopefully they fix that mass party spam invite thing. I hope that this is here. General icon, text, alignment, and localization improvements. Fix a bug where the voice chat menu could lose focus when using a controller. Interesting. Upgrades to overclock, pact of swiftness, go time, exposed weakness, and umbral form talents are now displayed correctly. Fix a bug that prevented changes made in the equipment menu from updating the character preview. Fix a bug that could cause the weapon crafting screen to show an armor crafting quest objective. Closing the store after an error can no longer leave your camera stuck pointing at the sky. The recommended support a creator button no longer takes you to a broken page on Nintendo Switch in Russian. Let's go, dude. Support a creator, code REVVYRAD, by the way. If you guys enjoyed this very long patch notes reading, please leave a like. It means a lot to me. It helps out the channel. If you want to further support the channel, you can, again, use creator code REVVYRAD. You can support the channel by subscribing, turning on notifications, and hitting me up on Twitch. All that stuff will be in the description. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you on the Shattered Isles.